howdy there, Internet people, it's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump looking to the South. Trump's erratic foreign policy continues to blend with his domestic policy concerns and longtime Republican talking points that aren't exactly grounded in reality. Recently, the administration started a highly controversial naval campaign against boats it says are Venezuelan, and claims they're tied to the movement of illicit substances from that country. Colombia has suggested the U.S. has made at least one mistake. There are some signs that the Navy knew they were Colombian, but that it fit within the guidelines provided. Why is it controversial, aside from the possible error? Well, some experts suggest the campaign is wholly unlawful, because the president doesn't have the authority to engage non-combatants in this manner. Trump has decided to up the stakes in this fiasco in the making by suggesting the U.S. might start engaging targets on land as well as at sea. He's also suggested he has authorized the CIA to conduct covert operations in Venezuela. That's cute, because we all know the CIA has been hands-off Venezuela until Trump said it was okay. Somebody might want to pull the president aside and explain the purpose of covert intelligence operations is to maintain plausible deniability. You can't maintain that if you announce you've done it. So to recap, it started at sea. The CIA has been authorized to move covertly, and it'll move to land. Hey, I've seen this one. It ends with Jack Ryan testifying before Congress. The whole thing is definitely something that could drag the U.S. into a war. Trump is leaning very heavily into his 1980s style just say no foreign policy. From China to Canada to Venezuela, illicit substances moving into the U.S. is being brought up as a reason to punish the governments. The idea is that governments should be able to control the flow of illicit substances. Like the U.S. does. Reminder, the demand is in the U.S. U.S. demand creates a profit motive for those supplying the substances. Without the demand, the ventures become less profitable. So obviously, the Trump administration would want to address root causes and is actively working on the demand side of the issue, right? Of course not. Since Trump took office, he's actually slashed the number of staff at the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration by about half. The lack of coinciding domestic policy to go with the rhetoric surrounding the foreign policy suggests that Trump wants headlines, not headway, in addressing the issue. Or it's a total pretext for some other possible reason Trump might want to realign Venezuela. The guy living in the 1980s with the energy policy from the same decade might be interested in oil access, even though most U.S. assessments say it isn't at risk. We know Trump doesn't really read or believe those. It's important to understand that until now, this was relatively low risk for the U.S. because of the standoff nature in which it's been done. Operating from the air is one thing, and realistically, there isn't much most countries can do. However, when it comes to covert action in country, the risks of this going sideways dramatically increase. A failed operation leading to the capture of U.S. personnel could easily put the Trump administration on a collision course with an invasion of the country. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.